All right, welcome back to Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help us make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping him lock up some of these bad guys. I say welcome back. Y'all should be saying welcome back to me. It feels like I've been gone forever.
Well, it's spring break. Things happen. Stuff's going on. It's a busy time of the year.
It is. A lot of things are going on, and we've got some changes that have been going on with some signs and red lights.
Sure. You know, Alexandria is one of our largest areas that the Sheriff's Office covers. And that stretch of 431 there sees more than its fair share of accidents. There's a new traffic light that's being put up at the 431-204 intersection. That's good news, but also with that, you still have to be careful. I got young drivers, and I've always taught them, I'd still do it. And when they go to a red light and they're driving, I tell them, just because a light turns green doesn't mean you can go. You need to look both ways and make sure those cars that are coming are slowing down and stopping, especially big rigs. You know, so that intersection at 204 and 431 has seen a lot of accidents there. A lot of people have died there. So this traffic light was wanted. Now that it's there, just because it's up, it doesn't guarantee it's all fixed. People need to understand you still got to look both ways, even though the light's green. Just because the light's green and says you can go doesn't mean you should. You need to look both ways, because a big 18-wheeler, 80,000 pounds, if it's not ready to stop, if it hits you broadside, it's going to kill you. So,
yeah, especially when it's a new light and a road that people have been driving for a long time, many years. They're used to driving it. They're used to there not being a light there. They need some time to get used to that. And then when it's on a highway and it's a long stretch from the last light, that's another one. So yeah, be very careful, even though the light's in there. We got some other signs to watch out for.
Yeah, I bought a trailer. It's a mobile trailer that has a speed device on it. It has some cameras on it. We're putting it in some hot spots where we've had burglaries. We've put it in some parking lots of stores and other places. If you see it around, it's a device that we got. We also got some portable signs that we're hanging up on street signs in neighborhoods and on busy streets. One of them is some very interesting data. One street right by a school says 35 miles per hour. The average speed was about 50. Ooh. So we know we need to do some work there. So if you see that sign up, just know that the deputy's going to be around that area too, also looking for people, slowing them down. You know, there's a thing that people say deputies can't write tickets. That's not true. No. We write them every day. So it's not about gaining revenue for us. It's about making sure people are safe and slowing people down. And our goal is for people to be safe, that your children, my children, and our beloved family members aren't hurt.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's talk about the results from the last week of our viewers calling in information.
5 arrests. You've never let us down. Brings our count up to 4,370 people arrested from the start of this show, but all because somebody helped us out.
All right, so we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the first half of this week's lineup, and we'll tell you why I'm wearing a blue shirt today here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's get started with this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We're going to start this week with William Barfield of Jacksonville. He is wanted on a probation revocation for forgery, 3rd degree. Brandon Winningham of Anniston is wanted on a probation revocation for assault, 3rd degree. Charles Ramsey of East Aboga wanted for failure to pay for unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance. Jamia Hall of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear charge for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Ashley Calloway of Anniston wanted on a probation violation for 3rd degree burglary. Scott Speak of Birmingham wanted on probation revocation for possession of a forged instrument. That's the first half of this week's lineup. More bad guys coming up in just a little bit. If you have any information about these cases, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, we are back, and Sheriff, it's time to welcome back in one of our favorite regular guests to the show.
Patty does many wonderful things in our community, so it's good to have you back.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.
And the reason I'm wearing blue today, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, is today is World Autism Awareness Day. and they're encouraging everybody to wear blue. And you've got blue on your badge,
Yep.
Right.
and you're wearing blue as well.
Light up the world for autism awareness. Yes, that happens all through the month of April. We kind of go through 2 very busy months. You know, March is Disability Awareness Month, and then April is Autism Awareness Month. I had to catch up on my months there, and so we have a lot of activities to serve our community through the ARC.
All right, so I know we've been busy. You've already done a lot of things, and
Yes.
hopefully some people have participated in those. But what's still to come?
Okay, still to come, besides today, we're getting people to dress in blue, and it's not too late if you haven't already gotten dressed, or you can change to show your day. We have coming up in just a week or so, on April the 10th, we have our self-advocacy conference, and that is a conference for adults, well, really people 16 and above, that are trying to transition out of high school into day-to-day activities. We're having it during the school day so that area schools, the self-contained units, can get out of school and come and meet some of the community folks that they're going to need to deal with to help them transition into maybe a job, or even the JSU program or something like that. But we also have a program called People First, which is a group of self-advocates, people with intellectual disabilities. It's part of a national chapter like all of our ARC programs, but it's run by people with intellectual disabilities that are the president and the vice president, and they meet once a month to plan activities and also community projects. They're very good about volunteering for the local groups that need people for various programs.
And it's real tempting for a lot of us to think that because somebody else has some kind of intellectual disability that, okay, well, we know what they need.
Right, exactly.
But we don't know what they need if we don't hear from them.
Exactly. I love People First slogan. It is nothing about us without us.
I like that.
And so their whole goal is to get involved in the community. A lot of times, especially our adults, even in their 40s, or have been in a school system, or have been in the community and haven't had some of the opportunities that some of the younger folks are now getting because of the emphasis on transitioning into the environment. So it's a two-way street. By volunteering, they get to see what's out there and possibly jobs that they could do. And they also educate the community about what they can do. So it's really a great organization, and it's growing and growing and growing locally. We started with a group of less than 20, and we've over doubled that in about a year. So it's a really great organization.
All right, somebody's watching wondering how they can get connected in. How do they do that?
Okay, all they have to do is call us at the ARC at 256-236-2857, or they can also call, and I'm going to look down here at the number because I don't say that as often. They can call the area coordinator, and her name is Barbara Odom, and her number is 256-453-0543. But either way, they can call the ARC and we can put them in touch with Barbara, or they can just come out to the Civic Center from 9 to 12 noon on April 10th.
That's the Oxford Civic Center.
Excuse me, what did I say?
You just said the Civic Center.
I said the Civic Center, Oxford Civic Center. Thank you, Chris. Oxford Civic Center from April 10th, from 9 until 12 noon, and it's going to be free, and there'll be a lot of resources there.
And refreshments.
Light refreshments. And we'll also have somebody there from Social Security to see how maybe working might affect your Social Security benefits if you have an intellectual disability, and somebody there from the Opportunity Center and ADRS. Job opportunities, and people from the community, and of course the ARC.
All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll be back to talk some more with Patty here in just a moment. We'll also have the second half of this week's lineup when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's take a look at the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Shane Hughes of Anniston wanted for failure to report for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Jacqueline White of Anniston wanted on probation violation for obstruction of justice using a false identity. Jonathan Crow of Ohatchee wanted on probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Kevin Darby of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, 3rd degree. Alexandria Surratt of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And Matthew McCormick of Alexandria wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. See if you can help us solve some recent property crimes. Hiller is with us from the ARC of Calhoun and Cleburne counties. We've been talking about a lot of things that were going on last month and this month, very busy time. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow, and if you're watching a replay of this show, it's already too late, but if you're watching on Tuesday night,
Right.
We've got an opportunity for a meeting in Birmingham.
Right. It is sponsored by the Alabama Department of Mental Health, but it's a very good meeting that parents and maybe adults with intellectual disabilities or any type of disabilities should attend. It's going to be at the Region 5 office and in Birmingham, and they can call us for the exact direct address at the ARC if they want to, but it's at 631 Beacon Parkway, Suite 211, and it's a really good meeting for everyone to attend to because it's a planning meeting for the state to try to figure out what services people with intellectual disabilities and other developmental disabilities need in our community. Alabama has had a huge waiting list of providing services, the state, and they're trying to meet the goals of helping everyone. And so they're trying to get a lot of feedback from communities, and they've had one throughout the state. And the closest one they're going to have in our area is the one that's going on tomorrow in Birmingham. And from 1 to 3, families and self-advocates need to attend the meeting. From 10 to noon, it'll be people that are in professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Sheriff, we've been talking some about the upcoming census and how important that is. This is the same kind of a deal, I guess.
Sure.
If they don't hear from you, they don't know how to serve you.
That is absolutely right. Sheriff's office can't help you if you don't tell us what your problems are.
Exactly, exactly. And this is a perfect opportunity for not only for parents to tell them, but also to find out what's actually out there too, and break down the middleman.
All right, let's take a breath here. We've talked about some heady stuff here. We've got big, important meetings and lots of information. Let's talk about the fun part of the ARC, what everybody knows and loves about the ARC. Special Olympics is coming up.
Special Olympics track and field, or our athletics event, is coming up April 25th. First time ever we're holding it in Piedmont, at Piedmont High School. We're trying to share the love and visit different
Piedmont
communities.
has such wonderful facilities
They do, and you know, before even the rain started so badly this season, one of the things they used to sell me on was, our field can be dry in 2 hours. And I'm like, we might need it now with all this rain. But we're going to meet there, and it's going to be athletics events, running, jumping, throwing events for all of Calhoun and Cleburne counties for all school-age children 8 and above, 8 to 21. So we're expecting about 165 athletes, and then volunteers and buddies from the school system. So it's our biggest event that people, like you said, know us with that one.
They love getting those medals and ribbons, but beyond that, it's just participating, just being out there and competing.
Right. It's a wonderful event. Somebody asked me the other day, what does Special Olympics do? You know, and I said, well, what does it provide? It provides the same thing that it does for any athlete who's not in a special education program. You know, it allows you to set goals, to reach those goals, to find out that you can do stuff that you didn't think you could do. It's teamwork, it's socialization. It's a wonderful event. And then, of course, our local athletes will advance from here to the state events, and then up, and even to world events. And we've had a lot of world Special Olympians.
Yeah, have you gotten to go on any of those trips around the world?
I have. I got to be a coach in Ireland in 2003. I almost went to Seattle, but I had a family crisis during that time. So Seattle and Ireland. I guess I'm more excited about going to Ireland, as you know. But Seattle, we had a lot of great things happen in Seattle with our athletes. So it's always a wonderful opportunity. And we have a local athlete that we probably need to bring sometime who is an ambassador for Special Olympics. And he gets to travel all over the world now.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's gone to a few places that I haven't gone to.
A little too late for me to be a competitive athlete at this point, I think. What about you, Sheriff?
Yeah, I'm past my prime. Just by a smidge.
Oh, you never know. You know, there's the Senior Olympics too.
Something to look forward to. I'm just kind of in the middle right now.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna have to get in shape. I set myself a goal of losing 20 pounds, and I've only got 25 to go.
Oh, very good. Very good.
I understand.
All right, well, Patty, thank you so much for being
Sure.
here again, sharing all this with us, and keeping up that hectic pace with all these things that you've got going on.
Oh, it's a busy time, but it's a wonderful time. It really is. So thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll have our Crazy Criminal of the Week when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. See if you can help us with some information about these recent property crimes. On March 17th, an unknown person entered a resident's garage, tampered with a motorcycle, and unlawfully entered a vehicle on Moana Drive in Alexandria. Between March 13th and 20th, someone entered a fire-damaged residence on Highway 144 in Ohatchee. A large amount of items were stolen, to include a Craftsman 18-inch chainsaw, a tray of tools, an ammo box with ammo, a 3-ton floor jack, a drill press, and a Constellation trumpet. Between March 13th and 16th, a firearm was stolen from a truck which was parked at a business on Highway 431 in Wellington. And on March 23rd, a black 12-foot Baggett trailer was stolen from a home on Highway 278 West in Piedmont. Between March 25th and March 26th, an 18-foot Barentine car hauler trailer was stolen from a residence on U.S. Highway 278 in Piedmont. A suspicious older model white truck was seen in the owner's yard. If you have any information about these cases or others, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, Sheriff, stop me if you've heard this one before. Those aren't mine.
We've had that's not mine, those are not my pants, it's not even my car, those drugs in my hand aren't mine. I've actually pulled somebody over who had a marijuana joint in their ear. I asked them if they had any marijuana, and they're like, no. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, absolutely positive. And I just reached and grabbed it and go, like, oh. So I've heard a lot of those.
Have you ever heard those socks aren't mine? The socks that they're wearing?
No, but I could see where that could play into effect.
Yeah,
I have had the shoes. The shoes aren't mine.
Okay, that's very close. Damian Clark Jr., 20-year-old guy from Austintown, Ohio, pulled over at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning. That's always a bad sign to begin with, right?
If he's not going to work, it is.
Probably not. And so they discovered that he had a bag of cocaine in his sock, and his excuse was, these aren't my socks.
He didn't say it wasn't his cocaine. He just said it wasn't his socks. Okay, we don't care if it's not your socks, but you know, he didn't lie. It might not have been his socks, but he didn't say it wasn't his cocaine.
He was in possession of it, so that's not really going to fly.
That's all that matters. You know, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly.
And that's a good lesson as well for if people. Sometimes it's really not yours, but if you're hanging out with the wrong people in the wrong situation, you can still get busted.
In Alabama, just take for instance, me and you're in a car, and we get pulled over, and you have something, and you stuff it in the seat, and we get pulled over, and you don't claim it. We're both going. So it could happen.
Careful who you hang out with.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all the time we've got for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup and in your own socks on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.